Have you ever been told, just follow your passion and the money will follow? Or maybe the motivational chant of the century, believe in yourself, you've got this. Terrific. Because those are, without question, some of the most dangerous, low-effort pieces of career advice currently poisoning the American workforce. And the painful irony? This terrible counsel is most often dispensed by people who think they know everything, but actually know next to nothing. Welcome to a guided tour of the human logic fallacy garden, where today we're digging up the infamous Dunning-Kruger Effect, a psychological illusion that turns the blissfully ignorant into self-appointed prophets. Picture this scene. You've just finished your first week of learning a new skill, let's say graphic design. You've mastered the pen tool, figured out layers, and created a basic logo that, to be fair, doesn't look completely terrible. Immediately, a wave of absolute certainty washes over you. You feel qualified. You feel expert. You are ready to quit your job, start a $5,000 online masterclass, and write a viral LinkedIn post titled, 5 Things I Learned Designing My First Logo That Will Change Your Life. You are standing atop a majestic, yet incredibly precarious peak. Congratulations, you are on Mount Stupid. Mount Stupid is the central landmark of the Dunning-Kruger Effect, the psychological bias named after researchers David Dunning and Justin Kruger. They were inspired, believe it or not, by a bank robber who smeared lemon juice on his face because he believed it would make him invisible to security cameras. Lemon juice! The core principle is shockingly simple. When you know very little about a subject, you only see a tiny sliver of the actual landscape, and you genuinely mistake that sliver for the entire universe. You are unaware of the vast, terrifying chasms of complexity that lie beneath. Your lack of knowledge becomes a confidence shield, allowing you to declare yourself an expert with zero evidence, zero self-doubt, and zero shame. And this, right here, is why Dunning-Kruger is the foundation for the worst career advice you keep hearing.
In a world that obsessively rewards confidence, personal branding, and the hustle, we are being overrun by freshly minted gurus who lecture us on things they barely understand. The recent college grad who read one book on real estate now runs a seminar on passive income millionaire secrets. The mid-level manager who took one online course on leadership is now writing daily manifestos about the power of alignment. They're the most vocal, the most visible, and the most tragically misguided. They are shouting their wisdom from the summit of Mount Stupid. And because they sound so damn sure of themselves, millions of people follow them right into the abyss. Worst advice number 1. Fake it till you make it. This is perhaps the most toxic motto in the modern workplace. It explicitly encourages you to use confidence as a magic cloak to conceal intellectual hollowness. Short term? Sure, it might help you nail a job interview or secure a client pitch. Long term, it makes you a liability. You cannot fake it as a brain surgeon, a rocket scientist, or a chief financial officer. But even in softer fields like marketing, leadership, or product development, a thick layer of unwarranted confidence only accelerates your team's failure. You risk becoming the boss who, despite having no technical skills, keeps overriding the experts because their Mount Stupid confidence outweighs everyone else's competence. True competence doesn't need to fake it, it just is. Worst advice number 2. Quit your job if you're not happy. This advice is perpetually trending, often delivered by the freshly unemployed who again are standing on Mount Stupid convinced they've cracked the code to the good life. They're talking about freedom and authenticity, but they haven't yet reached the valley of despair. This valley is where the cold, hard realities of building a business, managing taxes, finding clients, or producing an actual minimum viable product live. It's where the high of quitting wears off and the actual work begins. Quitting a stable job without a solid plan based on actual market demand is an act of supreme Dunning-Kruger confidence, not strategic courage. These gurus sell the romanticized idea of the struggle, but leave out the part where 99% of people realize they don't know how to fill out a tax form, secure health insurance, or handle client churn. They encourage impulsivity based on the baseless faith that it will all work out. Newsflash, it only works out if you survive the valley of despair by realizing the limits of your knowledge and committing to a slow, painful climb.
You survive the valley of despair by realizing the limits of your knowledge and committing to a slow, painful climb. And here's the wicked twist. The genuinely competent people often suffer from the exact opposite phenomenon, imposter syndrome. They've fallen off Mount Stupid, survived the valley of despair, and are now carefully ascending the slope of enlightenment. At this height, they realize the ocean of knowledge is infinite, and their own expertise is just a single drop. They become cautious, they ask qualifying questions, and they rarely use words like always or never. In a debate, they listen more than they speak. Their humility and carefulness are sadly and frequently mistaken for weakness or indecision in the modern corporate theater. Think about it. The loudest voice in your office meetings, the one that interrupts the most and has a confident answer for everything, is statistically the least competent. They are protected by their ignorance. The truly brilliant person, the one who can actually solve the problem, is likely the quiet one in the corner, holding their tongue because they're too busy considering the 5 different ways the confident person's idea could catastrophically fail. So how do you escape the Dunning-Kruger trap? The only way off Mount Stupid is to fall. Fall headfirst into the valley of despair. It's painful. It's humbling. It's the moment you realize, wow, I thought I knew 90% of this, but I actually know about 2%. This feeling is why so many people quit, but it is the only place where genuine growth begins. Instead of seeking advice from the overly confident, seek out the cautious, the meticulous, and those who are quick to point out your flaws. A great mentor isn't the one who validates your ego. It's the one that gives you a brutal roadmap of what you don't know yet. If someone tells you a complex field is easy, run. People who have actually mastered a skill will always emphasize the complexity, the trade-offs, and the sheer amount of sustained effort required. Your career is not a sprint up Mount Stupid. It's a marathon across the entire landscape. The goal is not to quickly feel confident. The goal is to achieve competence. You must learn to love the discomfort of learning, the thrill of being proven wrong, and the perpetual state of being a student. So, the single best career advice I can give you is this. Do not listen to the worst career advice. Stop faking it and start doing the uncomfortable work. Stop listening to the quitfluencers and start becoming so good they can't ignore you. Next time you feel absolutely certain about a new subject, pause and ask yourself, am I currently applying lemon juice to my face? If the answer is yes, be grateful for the self-doubt, because that small flicker of doubt is the only compass that will guide you off the treacherous slopes of Mount Stupid and onto the long, rewarding climb toward actual mastery.